Comparing and ordering. What do we mean by comparing in terms of mathematics? With comparing, is you are comparing between integers, integers, fractions, and decimals. You want to compare if one number or one integer is bigger than the other integer, okay? Or you are comparing if one integer is less than the other integer, or you are comparing to see if they are equal, okay? Right? If we are to compare in this class, we will compare who is the tallest, right? And who is the shortest, and who is what? Maybe the tiniest. That is comparing, okay? Maybe you can also compare the girls to the boys. But when it comes to comparing in mathematics, you are using signs as the sign used in comparing. Either you are using equal to, which is illustrated like that, or it's either you are using greater than, which is a sign like this, or it's either you are using less than, which is illustrated with a sign that looks like that. Okay? So when you are comparing integers, you want to compare if one is greater than the other one, or one integer is lesser than the other one, or if the integers are equal. Okay? So with this sign, the greater one, you can always use your right arm. Okay? Right arm is greater. Okay? For you to remember. You can use your right arm to illustrate that right is greater. Okay? And less than is left. Left, less. Okay? To help you remember these signs. Are we together? And equal to is just equal to. Okay, let's look at the example, or should we move on first to ordering? No, let's still focus on comparing. Do we understand comparing so far? Okay, let's look at an example. Example in comparing. Let's have A. B, C. Okay. We have 5/6 Okay, let's look at these examples. At A, you have 5/6. That is a fraction. And the space is to put the sign, the comparing sign. And then you have 0.825. When you are comparing the numbers and one is in a fraction form, you always have to convert that fraction form to a decimal for you to compare what? The decimal places to see which number is bigger after the zero or after the comma. Are we together? So if we have this fraction, if we convert that fraction into a decimal, what would we have? We'll have what? Take your calculator and press press 5/6. What would you get? 5/6 equals to 0.8. Can we keep quiet? Can we pay attention? We have 0.8333333. Okay? So how many decimal places do we have in this one? We have 3 decimal places, eh? So try to give this answer also in 3 decimal places. So 5 over 6 is equal to 0.833. So if you compare the 0.833 with the 0.25, what comparison do you think we'll have there? Is 0.833 greater than 0.25? Is it less than, or are they equal?
Yeah,
So 5 over 6 is greater than 0.825. Eh? So you put the sign this one greater than, to illustrate that this one is greater than this one. Eh? Are we together?
Yes.
Okay, so let's move on to the second one. We have 0.825 with 33 over 40. You convert the fraction to decimal. If you convert this 33 over 40 to decimal, what will you get? 8.0.75. Is that it? Is it precise? It's 0.75, eh? What?
No.
Okay, it's not. It's 0.825. Yes. How are you getting 0.7? Okay? So here you are getting 0.825. That is the precise number on the calculation. So now, if you compare the 0.825 and this one, which is still the 0.825, what comparison sign should be put there?
Equal.
They are equal to it. Are we together? So they are equal. So you put the equal sign there. Okay? Are we understanding the one? Okay, now let's move on to the next one. You have 0.667, and then here you have 3 over 5. Again, you have to convert the fraction to what? To a decimal. So if you convert that 3 over 5 to a decimal, what are you getting?
0.6.
3 over 5, you are getting 0.6 on the dot. Okay. So if you compare the 0.667 with the 0.6, so what numbers are here after the 6? Yeah? When you are, okay, we are trying to have at least how many decimal places? 3 decimal places like this one, eh? And then if we try to have 3 decimal places here, what numbers do we have after the 6?
0.
There will just be 0. Okay, so you have like that. So between 0.600 with 0.67, what comparing sign should be put here if you compare those two numbers? It's greater than it. So meaning 0.67 is greater than 0.600. You put which sign? This sign. The greater than sign. Your right hand sign. Are we together? Do you understand this one? Okay, let's do a quick class exercise. Let's do a quick class exercise. Write one of the comparing signs. Write one of the comparing signs in the following okay? You have A, you have 3, 2, 3, you have B, 9 over 100, 0.09, you have C, 0.2, 0.2, 1 with E plus 1, 37.73 is 0.507. Let's quickly do that class exercise now. Quickly. Will take us how many minutes? 3 minutes. So, the first one you have 3 to the power 2. You are comparing it with 2 to the power 3. Okay? Yes. And then you have B, you have 9 over 100. You are comparing it with 0.09. With C, you have 0.2 to the power 2. This is to the power 2, eh? To the power 2, you are comparing it with 0.041. And then you have D, 37 over 73. You are comparing it with 0.507. Okay? Let's quickly do this one.
Kenya.
Yes. You round off to the appropriate significance. Yes. Like for this one, the example we had here, we had a lot of 3 eh? But then now we are comparing with a number that only has 3 decimal places. So you have to make sure that the decimal places are equal. Okay? So you round off to the appropriate number. Yes. You are done. Can I finish with Ronaldo? Yes.
C.
C.
Yes.
Yes. This one.
1.
0.041.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Miss,
Yes.
at the 0.2 is it a 5.3?
This one is 5. 0.507. Yeah, done. Okay.
That one.
Okay. Yeah. This one is less than. Yeah. Okay, that's the limit. Is it not? Oh, it's 37. 37 divided by 73. It will be 7. You round it off. So these are supposed to be equal. Yeah. Okay. What else is done? Okay. Oh, this is an example. This one is done. No, that one is not correct. No. Let me see. What else is done? Quickly. Okay. Okay. Yes. Yes, you have to round it up to the appropriate decimal place with the number you are comparing it with. Okay? No. Okay? What else is done? What else is done? That is done. Yes. Very good. So far, only one person got all the answers right. Let me see. Oh, you're not done. What is happening with the last one? Let me see, what is this one? Hmm? Yeah, 0 point. This one is, okay, yeah, this one is bigger. But then here?
Means under.
Where am I looking at? Okay. Yeah. Very good.
Means
Yes. Are you sure?
means
Sure. Look at this one properly again, eh? Okay, very good. So good. Well done. This one is greater. No? No? Can you pass your book? Who else is done? Are you done? Paulina, can you write? What is wrong? Paulina, why are you not writing? Okay, can we run it off quickly so we do correction? Can I have Julian's book quickly? Okay. Oh, admire. Can I have Stacy's book in front, Stacy's book in front? Okay, let's quickly do correction. Okay? Let's quickly do correction. Yes.
Joseph and Paulina.
Okay?
What job?
Very good. Okay.
Yes.
Paulina is being slow. Paulina is not having a calculator. Okay. Let's do corrections for this one. Okay? Correction. For A. These are indices then. Indices means power. Okay? So we are saying 3 to the power 2. We are basically saying we have 3 multiplied by 3. Okay? And then with 2 here to the power 3, we are basically saying 2 times 2 times 2. Sorry. Okay? That is what it means then. These are called powers, which are indices. Okay, so when you make 3 times 3, what are you getting?
9.
9. When you make 2 times 2 times 2, what are you getting? 8. You are getting 8. So between 9 and 8, what is the comparison there?
9.
So 9 is bigger than 8. So what sign are you using? A greater than sign. Like that. Okay? And then we move on to the next one. When you have the numbers, one is in a decimal, one is in a what? In a fraction. What do? You convert the fraction to a decimal. So when you have 9 divided by 10, I mean by 100, 9 can go into 10 how many times? 1. With 1, yes. But what is your calculator giving you?
0.0.
So here you are having 0.09. What is the comparison there? So these numbers are equal. Same thing to this one. It's a power. So what are you having? You are having 0.2 multiplied by 0.2. What are you getting there?
0.0.
You are only getting 0.4. 0.04. Like that, yeah? How many decimals? How many? Not really 3. Are they 3? When you are counting the decimal places or the significant figures, you only have 2. We don't count the 0 that is in front of the number. Eh? So here you only have 2. And here you have 1. So what does that mean? You add the 0. The 0 only counts as a number if it's after an integer, not when it's before. Eh? So here you have 0.040 and here you have 0.041. What is the comparison there?
Greater than.
It is greater than. 0.040 is greater than. Is less than. Eh? So what do? You put this sign. That this 0.040 is less than 0.41. Are we together? Okay? And then the last one. What is your calculator giving you here? You are converting this one to a what? To a decimal. So you have 37 over 73. What are you getting?
0.6.
0.5036. Continue. 8. Is that all?
No.
Continue. What are the numbers?
4.
4.
9.
9. Let's end there. How many decimal places do we have in this number?
3.
There are 3. Okay? So you're supposed to also have 3 decimal places here. When you are rounding off the numbers, you look at the number that you are supposed to round off. So you are supposed to have numbers that are ending at what? At 6. You are supposed to have 0.506, right? But then when you are rounding off and the number that is next to the number that you are rounding off, if that number is greater than 5, that number donates 1 to the next. Okay? When you are rounding off, and this is the number you are rounding off, you look to the number that is next. Okay? And if this number is greater than 5, going 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, that number donates a 1 to the next one. So this becomes what? It becomes 0.507. So if you have now 0.507 is the same as this 0.07. So this sign here is equal. Okay? Excuse me? I cannot hear you. Are you sure? Oh, okay. So, are you sure? This was the answer that was here. Okay. Yeah, that's why your things are confusing. You may see to be D and then that's why. Write things in order. You are saying you don't understand. With rounding off, we are still going to talk about rounding off. You can round off to the nearest 10, to the nearest 100, to the nearest 1 decimal place, to the nearest 2 decimal places. So when you are rounding off with this is 1 decimal place. This number after the 0, okay? The number that is after the 0 is 1 decimal place. The second number after the 0 is this 0, right? Is 2 decimal places. The number after the 0, but after 2 numbers, this one, is how many decimal places? Is 3. Okay? So you keep counting the numbers that are after the 0 to determine what decimal place that number is. Okay? This is one decimal place. So if your question is saying give your number to one decimal place, you are just expected to have 0.5. Okay? To one decimal place. Okay? So now our comparison number is 0.507. How many decimal places do we have here? There are 3. You have 1 decimal place, you have 2 decimal place, you have the 10 decimal place. And this is the 7. Okay? So when you go back to your number that you are getting from the calculator, when you are comparing the numbers, they should be of the same, how can I say? They should be having the same number. They should have the same numbers in that. Your integer should be of the same. What do I mean? If you are getting this from your calculator and you are comparing it with this, it means that this answer should have how many decimal places? 3 decimal places. It should have 3 numbers after the comma. Okay? That is what it means. But now, if we are to have these 3 numbers, because you will have 0.506, right? Those are the 3 numbers after the comma. When it comes to rounding off, when you are rounding off, you always have to look the number that is next to the number that you are rounding off. Okay? You just don't write the numbers like that. Because if you are trying to estimate, you cannot just estimate 0.56 because it's not really correct. So you try to round off to have a good estimation. Okay? When you are rounding off to the next number, the number that is next to the number you are rounding off should be greater than 5. Okay? So if we had 4 here, or 3, or 2, or 1, this number could have remained the same. It could have been just 0.506. If this 8 was 4, or if it was 3, or if it was 2, or if it was 1, or maybe even if it was 0. Okay? This number, when we are rounding off to 3 decimal places, it would have just been 0.506. But now, since this number is greater than 5, it will borrow 1 extra number to the next one. Now, this 6 does not remain a 6, it becomes a 7. Okay? You add a 1 that you have borrowed from there. Okay? So it becomes now 0.507, and then you get rid of those numbers. Okay? You don't write them. You just get rid of them because you are supposed to only have 3 numbers after the comma. Yes? Okay. Yes. How do you do it on the calculator? What do you mean? What do you want to do on the calculator? To prove my answer. If okay, the 37 over 73. We are getting 0.5, 0.506, 844 in all those numbers. These numbers, how many numbers do we have after the comma? There are probably 10. But we are comparing it to the number that only has 3 decimal places. So this answer that you are getting should also just have 3 numbers after the comma, 3 decimal places. Yeah. Okay? Do you understand comparing? Do you understand comparing?
Yes.
Okay, let's move on to what we call ordering. Ordering. What is ordering in mathematics? Ordering is when you are arranging numbers in a certain pattern. Okay? What does that mean? You want to arrange the number that is in the numbers that are increasing or the numbers that are decreasing. If I was to if I was to order this class in a good pattern, I will arrange or I will order the class in a sense that I'm arranging the tallest to the shortest. Or I can arrange them from the shortest to the tallest. That is ordering, yeah? Now in ordering we have terminologies that are called ascending and descending. You are what? You are arranging the numbers from the smallest to the biggest. Okay? You are arranging numbers from the smallest to the biggest. Ascending means something going up, eh? For you to remember ascending, you should always remember something that is going up. It's ascending, it's going up. Increasing, okay? For example, if you have, let's write an example. You have a jumble of numbers, you just have a jumble of numbers. You maybe have 6, you have 1, you have 9, you have 3, and you have, let's say 4. Okay? You are supposed to arrange those numbers in an ascending order. You will arrange these numbers from from small to big. Eh? So, what will be our solution here? You will have 1, 3, 4, 6, and 9. Okay? You have arranged them from the smallest to the biggest. That is ascending. Eh? You are coming from small and you are increasing, going up. Now, with descending, what are you doing? It's the opposite of ascending. Eh? Here you are arranging. Yes. Here now you are arranging the numbers from big to, you are arranging the numbers from the biggest to the smallest. Eh? Now you are decreasing it. To remember descending, you should remember the word decrease. Now you are coming from a big number to a small number. And that look, where is your clock? Here. Oh, can you give me the get it, please? Okay? Examples for descending. Example. We can still have the same numbers. Right? We can still have those same numbers. We can still have 6, 1, 9, 3, 4. Now arrange these numbers from what? From big to small. What do we have now? 9. You have 9, 6, 4, 3, 1. now, decreasing the numbers. Okay? Descending, decrease. Ascending, increase. Eh? Are we together? Okay, let's do a class exercise. Again. I'm taking the random numbers. Eh? So, the numbers are random. But, okay, for now, you can look at page 72. After example 10, okay? No, 72, the try now, 9. The try now, 9, page 72. Class exercise. You have arranged the following This is A. For B, it says arrange the following numbers in descending order. You have 0.863, 0.861, you have 0.86, you have 0.8681, you have 0.86. 0.868. Okay? Let's quickly do that one. Let's do A and B. Yeah? Where are we looking at? Can I finish with Selma? B. The first one is 0. 0.863. This is also 0. Yes, and Kono?
Yeah, you can say it by the point or
There is a point here. 0. The other one is also 0.86. Let's quickly do that one. Yes?
the last number.
The last number? 0.868. Okay. Jaffa, can you wake up and do the class exercise?